from ages 60 to 80. Try doing these 5 things. I'm confident you'll live to 100. Old age is a special chapter in life, not an ending, but a transition into a deeper state of existence. Between the ages of 60 and 80, many people begin to feel the visible imprints of time on their bodies and minds: graying hair, fading vision, slower steps, and diminished memory. But this is also the time when we have more opportunities to look back at ourselves, to reflect on life, and to cherish the days that still lie ahead. Some choose to enjoy a leisurely retirement, while others are haunted by fears of illness, loneliness, or being forgotten by their children. But at the core, everyone shares a common desire: to live longer, not just in years, but in quality and meaning, cherishing every moment to its fullest. So what are the secrets to aging healthfully, joyfully, and possibly reaching the age of 100? It's not necessarily expensive supplements or top-tier doctors. Sometimes, the key lies in small shifts in daily habits. After years of observation, listening, and learning from centenarians around the world, I've come to believe that if you do just these 5 things, you will lay a strong foundation for a longer, healthier, and happier life. 1. Keep your body moving, in a way that suits your age. One common mistake older adults make is believing that, "I'm old now, I should rest and take it easy." But prolonged inactivity is a silent enemy that accelerates physical decline. At ages 60 to 80, you don't need to lift heavy weights or run marathons. Instead, choose gentle and age-appropriate forms of exercise such as walking 20 to 30 minutes each morning, practicing Qigong, Tai Chi, gentle yoga, or simply gardening, cooking, or taking care of plants. These activities not only keep your joints flexible, improve circulation, and enhance respiration, but also boost your mood and mental clarity. Remember, the parts of the body that go unused will atrophy, so don't let your body become a rusted machine through disuse. 2. Eat to nourish, not just to feel full. At this age, your digestive system slows down and metabolism decreases, so proper eating is critical to maintaining health. Many older people still eat as they did in youth: lots of red meat, fatty foods, sugar, alcohol, and tobacco, leading to issues like fatty liver, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and gout. In contrast, a well-balanced diet, low in salt and sugar, high in fresh vegetables, fruits, fish, legumes, and whole grains, acts as natural medicine to prevent disease. In addition, eat on time, eat moderately, chew slowly, and cultivate gratitude during meals. Many who have lived to 100 did so simply by eating light, home-cooked meals, avoiding late-night snacks, and savoring each bite mindfully. 3. Live lightly. Let go of worries. A calm mind is the best medicine. Many older people live with constant worry about their children, the past, their health, or who will care for them later. Chronic stress weakens the immune system and increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, depression, and more. In contrast, those who know how to let go, live slowly, and practice kindness often enjoy peace of mind, better sleep, fewer illnesses, and greater longevity. Learn to accept what you cannot change. Forgive yourself and others. Find joy in simplicity: a warm cup of tea, a breeze, or a clear morning. Reading, journaling, meditating, chanting, painting, or listening to music. These activities enrich your spirit and help you live more deeply, free from the noise of the outside world. 4. Stay socially connected. Don't withdraw from life. Studies consistently show that seniors with strong social connections live longer and have better physical and mental health. When you have friends to talk to, share moments with, go on walks with, or simply drink tea with, you will no longer feel isolated or empty. On the other hand, those who isolate themselves tend to experience faster cognitive and physical decline. Maintain close relationships. Call old friends, join community groups, senior clubs, or take up new hobbies like dancing, music, or even learning a new language. Staying socially active helps you feel needed and alive, not just existing. 5. Listen to your body, schedule checkups, and be proactive. As we age, our bodies are more susceptible to illness. However, many seniors are reluctant to visit doctors unless they're in severe pain or discomfort. This is a dangerous habit. Regular health checkups every 6 months, including blood tests, blood pressure, ultrasounds for the heart, liver, kidneys, lungs, etc., allow for early detection and timely treatment. Pay close attention to signs from your body. Don't ignore dizziness, rapid heartbeat, chest pain, breathlessness, or prolonged insomnia. Learn basic self-care. Monitor key health indicators daily, like blood pressure and blood sugar, and take an active role in managing your well-being. These practices can significantly reduce your risk of stroke, heart attack, and other serious illnesses. Ages 60 to 80 are not the time to give up, but the perfect time to slow down, go deeper, and truly enjoy life. Consider each remaining day a precious gift, a chance to live freely, to love, to experience, and to leave behind a legacy. If you start today, even with small steps like a 10-minute walk, a healthy meal, a call to an old friend, or a moment of deep breathing, you're already moving closer to the goal of living to 100. Live proactively, take responsibility for your health. And remember, longevity and happiness don't come by luck, they are the fruit of wise choices. A healthy lifestyle, and an open heart. After the age of 70, if you notice these 5 signs, you might live to be 100. Aging is an inevitable journey for all of us. Time leaves its mark on both our bodies and minds. However, growing old doesn't necessarily mean growing weak or falling ill. There are people who, even after reaching the milestone age of 70, continue to live with vitality, mental clarity, and joy. They serve as living proof that age is just a number, especially if one knows how to take care of their health, spirit, and mindset. Below are 5 important signs. If you're over 70 and recognize these signs in yourself, it's highly likely that you're on the path to a long, even centenarian, life filled with peace and wellness. 1. Mental clarity, good memory, and agile thinking. Cognitive sharpness is one of the most accurate indicators of overall health in the elderly. If you can still remember names, phone numbers, family events, and actively engage in mental activities like reading, solving puzzles, or discussing current affairs with your children or grandchildren, then that's a very positive sign. A well-functioning nervous system and an actively exercised brain help slow down mental aging. Maintaining memory and clarity not only boosts confidence but also significantly reduces the risk of cognitive disorders like dementia or Alzheimer's disease, both of which can seriously impact quality of life in old age. 2. Physical flexibility, independent mobility, and minimal dependence. One of the greatest concerns about aging is the gradual decline in mobility. But if you're still able to walk on your own, climb stairs, do housework, and take care of yourself without assistance, your bones, muscles, circulatory system, and nerves are still in good shape. Studies have shown that independent mobility is a key indicator of longevity. Avoiding frequent falls and fractures and maintaining balance while walking are all excellent signs. Physical flexibility reflects an active lifestyle, one of the most crucial factors in delaying the aging process throughout the body. 3. Good appetite, healthy digestion, and proper nutrient absorption. A healthy digestive system is the foundation of good health. After 70, digestive function typically declines, leading to poor appetite, bloating, indigestion, and malnutrition. However, if you still enjoy your meals, digest well, and rarely experience issues like constipation or diarrhea, you're ahead of the curve. A well-functioning digestive system helps your body absorb essential nutrients and vitamins, boosts immunity, and contributes to a vibrant appearance and balanced energy. Many long-lived elders maintain a moderate, mindful diet rich in vegetables, fruits, and whole grains while limiting fried foods and alcohol. These habits are essential for both digestive health and overall longevity. 4. Optimism, inner peace, and a worry-free mind. Psychological well-being plays a massive role in longevity. Elderly people often face loneliness, anxiety, or depression, especially if they lack family support or mental stimulation. But if you're someone who knows how to let go, lives simply, avoids unnecessary stress, and maintains a positive attitude, that mental outlook becomes an invaluable medicine. Peace of mind helps regulate blood pressure, reduce stress hormones, and strengthen your immune system. Optimistic seniors often maintain strong social connections, participate in clubs, garden, care for pets, or spend time with grandchildren, activities that enrich mental life and contribute significantly to healthy aging. 5. Deep, natural sleep without dependence on sleeping pills. Sleep is a miraculous natural healer. In old age, many experience poor sleep quality, frequent waking, or insomnia, but if you can sleep soundly for 6 to 8 hours a night without sleep aids, and wake up refreshed and alert, that indicates your nervous system is well balanced. Quality sleep allows your body to regenerate, improves memory, repairs damaged tissues, and enhances mood. Elderly individuals who sleep well often have a more radiant appearance, clearer thinking, and better physical health, key components for a long, fulfilling life. Not every person over 70 must endure physical decline or emotional distress. On the contrary, if you already display the 5 signs above, you hold the golden ticket to not just living long but living well. Aging doesn't signify the end, it can mark the beginning of a new chapter. One where you live more slowly, understand yourself more deeply, and savor each remaining moment. Treasure your health, Continue nurturing good habits, maintain a positive spirit, and stay connected to those around you. Old age isn't just about years, it's an art of living. For those who recognize this truth, longevity isn't just a possibility, it's a beautiful, meaningful reality. You may not only live to 100, but you may truly live.
10 types of elderly people. WHO live a hard life in old age. Old age is an inevitable stage in everyone's life. It is a time when the body is no longer as flexible as before. Health begins to decline, and many social and psychological issues start to appear. However, not everyone is fortunate enough to live a comfortable and happy life in old age. Without proper preparation in advance or adequate care and attention from family and society, old age can become a significant challenge, leading to a life of hardship and scarcity. Below are 10 types of elderly people who often face difficult, even painful, lives as they grow older. People who live alone, lacking support. One of the most difficult situations for elderly people is living alone. When family members or children cannot stay nearby or provide care, the elderly must manage their lives on their own in their later years. Every day becomes a challenge when there is no one around to help with healthcare, household chores, or even simply having a conversation. Many elderly people feel lonely, emotionally deprived, and have no one to take care of them when they are sick. Furthermore, basic household tasks, like cooking, cleaning, and even grocery shopping, become more difficult as their physical abilities decline. Life becomes exhausting and monotonous, with the fear of an uncertain future growing larger each day. People without a stable income. A key factor that makes life difficult for the elderly is financial hardship. After retirement, not everyone has enough pension income to live comfortably. Some people don't have retirement insurance or savings to rely on in their old age. They may depend on their children, but not all families are financially able to support aging parents. These individuals often live in poverty, carefully managing every penny, even having to forego basic needs to make ends meet. They are often reluctant to spend money on small things like a trip or a treat for themselves, simply to ensure they have enough for essential expenses. People with poor health and chronic illness. Health is one of the most important factors affecting the lives of the elderly. As people age, they face numerous health issues. Chronic illnesses such as high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, back pain, impaired vision, and hearing loss are common. These health problems not only diminish the quality of life but also make elderly people feel weak and unable to care for themselves. They need help from family or friends, but not everyone has someone to support them. Additionally, long-term treatment for these illnesses, requiring constant medication, adds another burden for the elderly. People who feel lost in the modern world. The world is changing rapidly, and one of the greatest challenges for elderly people is their inability to adapt to the rapid development of technology. Elderly individuals who cannot use smartphones, computers, or online services often feel left behind in today's society. Not being able to communicate via apps, shop online, or make electronic payments makes it difficult for them to access modern conveniences. Moreover, when they need help, they may not know how to search for information or reach the necessary services. People without friends or social relationships. The life of elderly people becomes even more difficult when they lack social connections. Many elderly people, after retirement, lose their friends due to age or their social relationships gradually fade away, leading to loneliness. Without anyone to talk to, share joys and sorrows, their life becomes empty. Prolonged loneliness can affect not only their mental health but also their physical well-being. In some cases, a lack of social relationships can contribute to mental health issues such as depression or anxiety. People living with children but facing abuse or neglect. Not every family has a harmonious relationship with their elderly parents. Some elderly people live with their children but suffer from abuse, neglect, or being taken advantage of. They may be forced to work beyond their capacity, ignored in important decisions, or treated unfairly. Even though they live with family, they may not feel loved, respected, or properly cared for as individuals of value. Such a life becomes burdensome and hopeless, devoid of joy and peace of mind. People who did not prepare for old age. Many people throughout their lives do not have a clear plan for their old age. They may lack savings, health insurance, and any thought about where they will live in their later years, leading them to face a difficult life. When they grow older, They can no longer work and have no other sources of income to maintain their living standards. This leads to a life of dependence on children or relatives. In fact, elderly individuals who do not have financial planning or healthcare arrangements when they are younger will face many hardships. People who have lost their spouse. One of the greatest losses in the life of an elderly person is the death of their spouse. After losing a partner, elderly individuals must live alone, facing all life's challenges without someone to support or share with. This loss affects their emotional well-being and creates more difficulties in terms of material needs. Tasks like healthcare, household chores, and financial management become even harder without a partner. The feeling of loneliness and emotional deprivation can lead to mental exhaustion. People with memory loss or mental health issues. Memory loss, Alzheimer's disease, and other mental health problems are common concerns for the elderly. When they suffer from these conditions, they lose the ability to care for themselves and face risks such as forgetting to eat, getting lost, or not recognizing dangers in their environment. Not being able to take care of themselves leads to numerous difficulties in daily life, and can even cause problems for their loved ones who are responsible for their care. People living in rural areas with limited healthcare services. In rural areas, the lack of medical facilities and healthcare services is a significant issue. Elderly people living in these regions cannot access quality medical care, and there is a shortage of doctors, medications, and necessary medical equipment. When they face health problems, they cannot receive timely medical attention, which worsens their condition. This makes life harder and more difficult for elderly people, especially when they are unable to travel far or lack the health to visit medical centers. Old age is an inevitable journey, but life in old age is not always easy or happy. Without careful preparation, and without the attention from family and the community, elderly people face many challenges. Therefore, creating a supportive and caring environment for the elderly is the responsibility of all of us. We need to take practical measures to ensure that the elderly have a peaceful, healthy, and meaningful life in their later years. Experience of living alone at the age of 70. Life is a long journey full of unexpected turns. When we are young, we often envision growing old alongside someone, surrounded by children and grandchildren, with a warm and bustling household. However, when one reaches the age of 70, not everyone is fortunate enough to realize that dream. Some lose their spouse, others have children who live far away for work, and some, due to circumstance or choice, find themselves living alone. Living alone at 70 is not just a way of life, it is a deeply emotional experience. An internal journey with many layers. There is loneliness, but also tranquility, emptiness, but also freedom. It is a stage where a person is compelled to return to themselves, not chasing wealth, status, or social validation, but facing their own heart, their past, their present, and the ever-nearing horizon of the future. The initial feeling, emptiness and loss. The early days of living alone at 70 can be the most difficult. There is no longer the sound of conversation in the house, no one to share meals with, no familiar footsteps or greetings. A cup of tea, a corner of the room, or an old chair can suddenly stir memories of those who are no longer there. Familiar objects become strange in the absence of loved ones. Waking up to silence, with no one to ask, "How are you feeling today?" and no footsteps in the evening to signal someone returning home. These are the moments that echo the void. Holidays and celebrations only deepen this feeling, bringing back memories of once joyful family gatherings. Sometimes, the sense of abandonment creeps in, not from weakness, but from a deep human desire to connect, to be loved, and to feel seen, gradually adjusting to independent living. Over time, however, many elderly individuals learn to adapt. Living alone transforms from being a fear into a chosen lifestyle. No longer bound by the needs of others, no longer burdened by responsibilities. They begin to take care of themselves more intentionally. They learn to go to the doctor on their own, cook nutritious meals, choose their own rest times, and enjoy hobbies like reading, walking, or listening to music. Even something as simple as grocery shopping and carrying bags home becomes a small, proud victory. I can still do this. Without the bustle of daily demands, they now have the time to notice the small wonders of life, the rustling of leaves, the sunlight through the window, the chirping of birds in the morning. This quietude allows them to slow down, reflect more deeply, and appreciate the present moment. Loneliness. A familiar companion one learns to accept. Loneliness never fully disappears from the life of an elderly person living alone. Despite getting used to it, there are still evenings filled with a quiet ache, rainy afternoons heavy with memories. But instead of resisting it, they learn to face it as an old friend, not with resentment, but with gentle acceptance. Many find joy in small things, tending to potted plants on the balcony, caring for a cat, joining senior clubs, or simply calling an old friend to reminisce. These small, warm interactions become vital threads that weave meaning into their days. A precious time to truly live for oneself. Living alone at 70 can also be a time of self-reclamation. No longer defined as someone's spouse or parent, they rediscover their individual identity with emotions, dreams, and desires that were once set aside. Some pick up old passions, learning to play an instrument, painting, writing memoirs, or even traveling if health permits. Living alone teaches them the value of silence, the strength of inner peace, and the impermanence of life. They start to live with a sense of gratitude for health, for memory, for still being able to feel the sun, the wind, and the comfort of a hot cup of tea. Living alone at 70 is not an easy path, but it is not as sorrowful as it may seem. It is a journey of returning to oneself, of living according to one's own pace, unshackled by the outside world. There will be days of sorrow, but also days of quiet joy, moments when one realizes, I am still living, and living meaningfully. Old age, even when lived alone, can be a deeply fulfilling time if one knows how to accept it. Nurture self-love, and keep a peaceful heart. When you learn to befriend yourself, no place ever feels lonely. 90% of elderly people suffer stroke due to this seemingly harmless habit. When thinking about old age, most people imagine peace, rest, and a well-deserved break after a life of hard work. However, this very peace can sometimes conceal hidden health risks. Among the most dangerous illnesses in the elderly, stroke, also known as cerebrovascular accident, is often considered a silent killer because it can strike suddenly and leave devastating consequences, or even cause death within minutes. What is even more concerning is that many older adults assume they are safe just because they eat healthily, don't smoke or drink, and exercise lightly each morning. They carry on with daily habits that seem harmless, unaware that those very routines, if not practiced correctly, are actually silent triggers leading to stroke. One of the most dangerous yet common habits is sitting too long, staying inactive, and not changing posture. 1. Prolonged sitting, a common habit among modern seniors. With increasingly comfortable lifestyles, many older adults today no longer need to move around as much as they used to. Heavy chores are handled by younger family members, and their lives slowly shrink to the confines of their home. They spend hours sitting and watching television, reading, drinking tea, or even dozing off in a chair. They believe this is proper rest. However, excessive rest and physical inactivity, especially as a long-term routine, lead to bodily stagnation, poor circulation, and serious decline in biological functions. 2. The silent stroke mechanism behind prolonged sitting. Slow blood flow, formation of blood clots. Sitting for long periods, especially with legs bent, impedes blood return from the lower limbs to the heart. Blood becomes stagnant in the veins, forming clots. These clots can travel to the brain and block an artery, causing ischemic stroke, the most common type, accounting for over 80% of all stroke cases. Weakening of heart and lung functions. Prolonged sitting decreases the efficiency of the heart's pumping ability and slows blood flow, while also reducing lung capacity. Over time, seniors may experience fatigue, shortness of breath, brain hypoxia, and dizziness. This weakens the central nervous system, making them more vulnerable to stroke when faced with stressors like weather changes, strong emotions, or lack of sleep. Disruption of blood pressure and glucose control. Contrary to popular belief, inactivity doesn't stabilize blood pressure, it worsens it. Lack of movement causes metabolic imbalance, leading to unregulated blood sugar and pressure. Moreover, bad cholesterol, LDL, isn't burned off and starts accumulating in the arteries, causing atherosclerosis and narrowing of blood vessels supplying the brain. Mental health impact, an indirect yet dangerous factor. Too much solitude, little social interaction, and absence of meaningful activities can lead to mild depression, insomnia, irritability, or even social withdrawal in elderly individuals. A prolonged negative mental state not only reduces life quality but also disrupts hormone regulation, especially increasing cortisol levels, a stress hormone that constricts blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and accelerates vascular aging. This is a fast-track route to stroke that many fail to recognize. Common caregiver mistake: loving but unintentionally harming. Many caregivers operate with the mindset of not letting the elderly do anything tiring, believing that sitting or lying down all day is best. However, this overprotectiveness can lead to reduced mobility, weakened muscles, and poor vascular elasticity. As a result, even a simple action, like standing up too quickly, sneezing, or moving from an air-conditioned room into the sun, can trigger a sudden drop in blood pressure or a stroke. Practical prevention methods: establish a structured daily routine, every 30 to 45 minutes of sitting. Stand up and walk around for a few minutes. Stretch, or take deep breaths. Maintain a habit of gentle daily exercise. Elderly people don't need to engage in strenuous workouts. Simple activities like slow walking, light cycling, tai chi, gentle yoga, gardening, or even light housework are sufficient. Stay socially engaged. Conversation, community involvement, and social groups can improve mental well-being and reduce stress. Regular health monitoring: check blood pressure morning and evening. Test cholesterol, blood sugar, and heart-lung function at least twice a year. Educate caregivers. Understand that seniors need physical activity suited to their capacity. Their longevity and stroke prevention rely heavily on maintaining regular movement. The truth is, stroke isn't a sudden accident from the sky. It starts with small daily behaviors that people barely notice, especially the habit of sitting too long without moving, which is dangerously common in older adults. While we can't turn back time or stop aging, we can change our lifestyle habits to minimize risks. Don't wait for a stroke to strike before appreciating health. Start today, with small actions. Each step you take, each time you get up, help keep the blood flowing and life enduring. With strength and vitality, living long doesn't mean living well, but living actively is the key to true longevity.